You know that feeling, right? You're having a perfectly good day, things are feeling light, joyful even, and then poof, it's gone. And you can't even point to one big thing that happened, but that feeling just vanishes. Well, we're going to dive into that, because what if there's a kind of joy that doesn't depend on a perfect day, a joy that actually sticks around?
And that's what's so frustrating, isn't it? It's almost never some huge catastrophe that wrecks your day. It's almost always something tiny that just dims the lights. So that brings us right into our first section. We're going to talk about this whole experience of joy just slipping away and really get into why it seems to happen so easily and so often. I mean, this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? If joy is this thing we all want so badly, why does it feel like it's made of glass, so easily shattered? Let's really break down what's happening underneath the surface here.
Man, this list is just so real. It's the little stuff, the everyday things. You wake up and you're already in a deficit, You grab your phone and immediately see a stressful email or a weird text. The news is just heavy. Or someone just uses a certain tone of voice, and boom. None of these are world-ending events, but they're like tiny little punctures in the tire of your joy. And see, this gets right to the heart of the issue. Most of us, whether we realize it or not, have been trained to think of joy as a reward. It's something you get when everything goes right. When the traffic is good, the meeting goes well, people are nice to you. It's an effect, and a cooperative life is the cause. So, this is the question that changes everything. If our joy can be knocked over by the slightest breeze, was it really rooted in anything solid to begin with? It forces us to ask, okay, if it wasn't coming from my circumstances, where was it coming from, and where should it be coming from? So let's move on and explore that. We're going to talk about a totally different way to think about joy. This isn't a joy that just shows up when things are good. This is a joy that actually grows from the inside out.
This idea from Scripture is a complete game changer. Joy isn't a prize you win at the carnival. It's a fruit. Just think about that for a second. Fruit isn't something you can just whip up in a factory. It has to grow, slowly, organically. It's the natural outcome of being connected to a living source.
And this verse takes it even deeper. Notice it doesn't say, the joy of the Lord is your good mood. It's your strength. This kind of joy isn't about feeling giddy or cheerful. It's about resilience. It's the thing that actually holds you together when life is trying to pull you apart. So, for our purposes here, let's use this as our working definition. Spirit-grown joy is a strength. It's like a deep inner stability, a spiritual ballast in a ship that keeps you from tipping over, even when the storms of life are raging. Okay, this is where the difference becomes crystal clear. Happiness, that's reactive. It goes up and down with what's happening to you. It's basically the absence of bad stuff. But joy, that's different. It responds to something constant. It settles deep down in your bones. And this last one is huge. Joy is not the absence of sorrow. It's the presence of God right in the middle of your sorrow. They can exist in the very same moment. All right, so now that we have a better picture of what this deeper joy looks like, we need to get good at spotting the difference between the real deal and some of the counterfeits that we often settle for. Counterfeit joy is usually about escape. It's numbing out with Netflix, distracting yourself by scrolling for hours, or just slapping on a fake smile and insisting everything's fine when it's really not. Its main goal is to avoid discomfort. But spirit-grown joy, it's much braver than that. It doesn't need to rush the healing process. It makes room for real grief and honesty. It gives you the strength to actually endure discomfort without running away. So why does our joy feel so flimsy so much of the time? Well, it's because we're plugging into the wrong outlets. We try to draw power from things that are, by their very nature, totally unstable. Smooth circumstances, getting what we want when we want it, other people acting the way we think they should. The moment any of those things flicker, our joy flickers right along with them. And this is it. This is the single biggest idea we're talking about today. The whole game is to shift our focus. Resilient, lasting joy isn't the result of getting all the right outcomes. It's the natural overflow of staying connected to the right source. Okay, this is all great in theory, right? But how do we actually live this out? Let's get really practical in our final section and look at a few things we can do to cultivate this kind of resilient joy in our own lives. All right, 3 simple but really powerful practices.
First, when you feel that joy slipping and that heaviness setting in, just pause for 1 minute. Don't immediately grab your phone or turn on the TV. Just pause. Second, in that pause, actively name one true thing that remains, even in the middle of the struggle. And third, shift your goal. The goal isn't to force yourself to be cheerful. The goal is just to stay connected. Honesty is so much more valuable here than forced happiness. And that really sums up the whole mindset shift, doesn't it? We have to stop chasing joy like it's a butterfly we're trying to catch. It doesn't work that way. Instead, we focus on remaining. Remaining in trust, remaining in connection, remaining in truth. Joy isn't the thing you catch at the end of the hunt. It's the fruit that grows on the branch while you remain. And I want to leave you with this question to really chew on. What if the very situation that you think is stealing your joy is actually the soil God is using to grow a deeper, more unshakable joy in you? Maybe the goal isn't always to change the circumstances around us, but to allow our hearts to be steadied right in the middle of them.